Mount Prospect, South Island, New Zealand, where well above 5,000 feet, the sun a wash of cobalt blue and El Greco's clouds because the helicopter banks hard toward a grey summit amid the endless selection of snow-dappled peaks. Closing in, our pilot slows with a hover, gingerly easing down into a landing site seems more as being a minefield. The uneven ground is full of jagged rocks, tufts of slippery grass, and bus-sized boulders, with sheer drop-offs on every side. You'd never get out of bed here with no early bird, I think to myself, because the skids finally touch down, unless maybe you're a mountain goat. It's then that I notice 4 new 2018 Jeep Wrangler Rubicons parked on tall rocks nearby, a band of brothers in silhouette, their military-inspired profiles as unmistakable today as a possible original Jeep was last World War II. Mountain goats, all right, just created in metal. On the drive in New Zealand, Street Antoine enjoyed many Jeep swimming. A decade ago in Zambia, Africa, I was one of the primary to drive the then new JK platform Wrangler. Being a former owner of the prior model, the much-loved TJ, the JK was something of any shock, taller, dramatically wider with a brand new V6 replacing the time-tested PowerTech inline 6, plus a huge new 4-door Unlimited version joining the lineup. Compared to my trim, nimble 2-door TJ, the Unlimited JK appeared to be a battleship. It seemed so big, unwieldy, even. Could this giant even squeeze throughout the narrow Death Valley trails I'd so easily traversed around my TJ? I needn't have worried. Despite some knocks from purists, that will always knock any switch to the Wrangler, the JK proved winner. Whereas the TJ sold roughly 80,000 units stateside in 2006, by 2017 Jeep regularly sold about 200,000 JKs each year. Now comes the Jeep I first glimpsed high up on that New Zealand mountaintop, the all-new 2018 JL edition. As always, Jeep engineers and stylists unveiled their baby with a combination of pride and nerves. After all, the Jeep faithful are an unforgiving lot. To them, any modifications for the battle-tested Wrangler formula are as contemptuous as adding Alfred E. Newman's face to Mount Rushmore. We're thinking about you, square headlight 1987. The cry is usually, don't f up by changing it. And within the JL's case, there are a variety of changes. But put those pitchforks down. I'm on the list of Wrangler faithful myself, and after driving the brand new JL through a number of New Zealand's most spectacular wilds, exactly the same mountainous, river-crossed landscapes that served because the backdrop for the Lord on the Rings movies and also the forthcoming Mission Impossible 6, I'm here to share with you, the JL can be a sublime good article, an upgrade in the JK in just about every way. Although Jeep had only top-range Rubicon models around for our New Zealand drives, the 2-door JL is going to be available in Sport, Sport S, and Rubicon trims, and the newest 4-door Unlimited will likely be available in those 3 versions and also a new Sahara edition. The JL has exploded compared with its predecessor, but importantly, it doesn't feel bigger. Wheelbase has grown 1.4 inches around the 2-door and 2.4 inches about the 4-door, and overall length continues to grow 2.5 and 3.5 inches, respectively. Overall height comes to an end an inch, and width is largely unchanged. The truly important stats, though, are these: approach, breakover, and departure angles around the Rubicon are typically significantly improved, and ground clearance comes to an end almost an inch. The Rubicon now rides on standard 33-inch BF Goodrich KO2 all-terrain tires on 17-inch wheels. Water fording is doable approximately 30 inches, as well as the JL can tow approximately 3,500 pounds, when properly configured. Those will be the numbers. Here's the top picture. The new JL would be the best-looking Wrangler in years. Like you, I'm an enormous fan on the TJ plus the old CJ, says Mark Allen, head of Jeep Design plus the owner of any comprehensively modified TJ. See the JL's keystone-shaped grille, as well as the way the outboard slats wrap around the headlights. That's pure CJ. Also, while everyone else seems to be raising belt lines, I lowered the JLs. So every little bit of glass is larger. Better visibility. Alan then leads me around for the side and points towards the roll cage. The sport bars have become welded towards the body and painted in body color, he tells. Because of some big focus group? Nope. I just much like the way it seems. He also suggests a new header bar involving the A-pillars that permits the windshield to fold down whilst the rearview mirror in position. Wrangler Chief Engineer Brian Lays then jumps in, and our bodies doesn't just look really good. Overall aero has been enhanced by 9%. The big roof panel in the revolutionary zipperless soft top is fitted to some folding frame that may be lowered with one hand or removed entirely. The JL sheds a lot more than 100 pounds above the JK, because of aluminum within the doors, hood. The Rubicon turns into a vented power hood, fenders, and windshield frame, and also a magnesium cast rear swing gate. New, high-mounted trapezoidal fender flares permit the Rubicon to accept nearly 35-inch tires without modifications. Daytime running lights encircle the headlamps. Jeep calls it a halo effect. On the Rubicon, it is possible to opt for LED headlights, square taillights, and fog lamps. Turn signals are mounted atop the front in the fender flares. The doors now feature the right torque Spitzil size stamped straight into the hinges, making removing and reattaching them a no-brainer. A new half door are going to be available sometime in 2019. Up top, possible 3-piece Freedom hardtop is improved with lighter panels and easier to use latches. A body color hardtop is optional within the Rubicon, plus the Sahara. The optional convertible soft top is actually zipper-free. Instead, the spine plastic windows simply slip away from channels they snap into, and then the large roof panel can be flipped back and down, which has a single hand. Brilliant. Finally, later in 2018, Jeep can provide an optional Sky One Touch power top that has a central canvas panel that retracts fully on the touch of a button. None in the Jeeps available had the Skyroof, but I predict it will be a winner. The JL's cabin is thoroughly updated to satisfy the demands in the always connected modern, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, abundant USB ports, navigation, and Sirius XM with traffic. The 4th Gen Uconnect system boasts an optional 4G Wi-Fi spot, so it is possible to surf websites from your camp table. The attractive space can also include a dash painted to complement the seat stitching, available keyless entry and standard push-button start, plus the ability to phone a whole bunch of vehicle info, including pitch and roll, about the display screen. A new optional 8.4-inch Iris touchscreen with pinch and zoom may be the largest ever offered using a Wrangler. And, yes, it's been mistested to pass through at least an on-monsoon quantity of rain and right on display. As always, the inner can be horsed out and drained via plugs inside floor. Jeep offer 2 engines at launch, precisely the same 3.6-litre DOC V6 found inside the JK, now with engine stop-start, as well as a new 2.0-litre turbo 4. The V6 comes standard by having an all-new 6-speed manual shifter, with an all-new optional 8-speed automatic, standard about the turbo 4. Coming in 2019 will be the engine Jeep enthusiasts have long clamored for. A 3.0-litre eco-diesel V6 making 260 horsepower and, start drooling, 442 pounds-feet of torque. The diesel will incorporate engine stop-start and also be available simply with the 8-speed auto. Can't wait. In New Zealand I first have got to sample a manual V6 JL Unlimited. It's a contended combo. The 285 horsepower 6-revving smartly amid the transmission's well-spaced gears. That said, having owned a manual TJ, the optional automatic for my 97 became a 3-speed. I'm unclear I'd go manual today. As I discovered a web-based business one later, the 8-speed automatic is definitely so sweet. With more ratios, this indicates always to be inside the right gear. It's smooth and smart, shifting well without treatment. And on one really challenging boulder climb, inside rain, we effortlessly surmounted an application that would have been significantly more difficult having a clutch pedal. The big news under hood is the modern 16-valve, direct injection, twin-scroll turbo 4. It makes less power, 270 horses, as opposed to V6, but significantly more torque, 295 pounds-to-feet at merely 3,000 revolutions per minute. It's also uncannily quiet. I once walked right past it and didn't even understand it was running, and well-mannered. Like the V6, the turbo completed the rock climb without having to break a sweat. And on some limited highway sections, most were off-road, it absolutely was subdued, pulling well from low revs, never strained. Frankly, I didn't expect you'll like it just as much as I did. It'll be interesting to sample to one back the real world. This new JL is usually a slam dunk. It's much more comfortable on-road, more capable off-road, safer, much easier to configure, better looking, better performing, and much more fuel efficient. On-road, some suspension changes, including reach-in springs, contribute to some solid, confident feel I never experienced during my TJ. Body roll is minimal, plus the ride is controlled without getting unduly harsh. I didn't receive an opportunity to try the two-door on pavement, but off-roaded handled rough terrain with none from the pogo bucking of older, shorter wheelbase Jeeps. It was, actually, completely comfortable. And, I must say, the two-door really looks fantastic. The turning circle is improved about the JL, enabling it to snake through tight mountain bends how the JKs in addition to us could only manage by stopping, burning, and returning into your corner. The beautiful new cockpit incorporates a dash painted to check the seat stitching, the capacity to call up info for instance pitch and roll within the display screens, electronic diff locks, the red square at lower center, as well as a sizable new touch screen. JL Rubicons are equipped that has a standard rock track 4x4 system having a 4:1 4-low ratio, Trillic front and back locking differentials, Dana 44 front and back axles, and electronic sway bar disconnect. The new Sahara, meanwhile, will offer you the Wrangler's first ever 2-speed transfer case with full-time AWD. With the automatic, the Rubicon's crawl ratio is undoubtedly an amazing 77.2 to 1, better yet with the manual, meaning it may creep as being a sloth over almost anything in its path. The Trillic diffs, easily accessed via dashboard switches, really are a godsend in the event the terrain gets slick and muddy, the way it did on our drive, while disconnecting the electronic sway bar, by way of a dash button, over rough roads does wonders for reducing, or perhaps eliminating, big jostles and head toss. This new JL can be a slam dunk. It's convenient on-road, more capable off-road, safer, Jeep boasts greater than 75 safety measures, quicker to configure, better looking, better performing, plus much more fuel efficient than its predecessor, for very little more money. Jeep says the Rubicon 2-door manual V6 will almost certainly start around $40,000. Expect the turbo 4-door Rubicon Unlimited, available only being an 8-speed, to get about $43,500. The folks at Jeep have accomplished the seemingly impossible. Somehow, the revolutionary JL Wrangler seems to be more advanced and sophisticated compared to JK while for the same time radiating a much more classic and old-school vibe. For Jeep fans, that's a really good thing, indeed. 2018 Jeep Wrangler Rubicon specifications on sale January 2018 price $40,000, base, EST engines 2.0 litre stock 16-valve turbo i4 217 horsepower at 5,200 revolutions per minute, 295 pounds-to-feet at 3,000 revolutions per minute, 3.6 litre stock 24-valve V6 285 horsepower at 6,400 revolutions per minute, 260 pounds-to-feet at 4,800 revolutions per minute transmission 6-speed manual, 8-speed automatic layout 2 or 4-door, 5-passenger, front engine, 4WD SUV EPA mileage 18 23 mile per gallon, city/highway, 4-door, 3.6 liters auto LXWXH 166.8, 188.4, x 73.8 by 73.6 in, 4-door wheelbase 96.8, 118.4, in, 4-door weight 4,175 to 4,485 pounds, 4-door, 3.6 liters auto 0 to 60 miles per hour 7.5 seconds, est, 4-door, 3.6 liters auto top speed 115 miles per hour, est, 4-door, 3.6 liters auto.